Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Beyond Baroque. My name is Ivan Salinas. I'm the programs coordinator here. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with our space, we're a nonprofit literary arts organization established in 1968. We're dedicated to the artistic possibilities of language, offering readings, writing workshops, and gallery exhibitions year-round. I'd like to acknowledge our presence on the ancestral and unceded territory of the Gabrielino Tongva peoples. We acknowledge the wrong done to indigenous peoples through colonialism and genocidal practices. As an arts organization, we're committed to uplifting indigenous communities and artists. It's very rare that I get to read this intro with some background music. So a huge shout out to David, who will be bringing it to the channel today. Yeah, you've been in our space, bookstore, right now the only one active is in the bookstore. There's a video art installation we have in the space playing here. They all form a part of an art installation called So to Speak, and it's produced by American artist Tony Cokes. And yesterday we had the official opening exhibition for the night, and the installation here is part of Free's projects is Against the Edge, which is curated by J. Ezra Nyson and held in collaboration with the Villa, with Free's LA, and it has multiple installations across several galleries in the West Side, like the Thomas Mann House and the Villa Aurora, and other places in Santa Monica. So if you'd like to check all that out, it'll be on display till February 20th. You can find more info on our website, and you can also see the calendar of events, what we got coming up in the next few weeks. For next Saturday, we have a book launch with Julia Guess, and we'll also be featuring Morgan Parker, Diana Coy Wynn, Elizabeth Metzger, and James Fujinami. And on February 24th, we'll have a spoken word and jazz fusion with LA-based poets A.K. Tony, Reese Langston, and Tori Gesualdo. So feel free to check our website at beyondbaroque.org, and you'll find more info about that. Just want to say for our poets tonight, we have their books on our bookstore. After the reading, if you would like to pick up a copy, feel free to just walk in our bookstore. We have beautiful copies of Cantadora by Linda Ravenswood, and all our poets who will be accompanying her. I'm sure you all are excited to hear from Brian Sonia Wallace, from Matt Sedillo, Lynne Thompson, Caribbean Fragoza, Jennifer Lewis, and of course Linda Ravenswood. So let's just start the show and welcome Linda, who will be hosting the reading. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ivan. Welcome to my favorite home away from home, Beyond Baroque. I'd like to thank especially Ivan Salinas. I'd like to thank Caribbean Fragoza, Lynne Thompson, Brian Sonia Wallace, Christina Cha, Tanya Ko Hong, Bernadette McComish, Matt Sedillo, Jennifer Lewis. I think that's everyone. And of course, all of you for joining us tonight for the book launch of this little book I've been working on for decades. Thank you so much. Tonight we'll be accompanied by the fabulous David Williams, musician extraordinaire. And up at the front, we have Tanya Ko Hong. She is a Korean-American poet, translator, world traveler. She's just the most generous person, and she flew in from New York, especially for this show. So would you please welcome Tanya with 1519 Water Dream and her poem. Everything that you hear tonight will be a poem from Cantadora and then a pairing by the wonderful poet from their own work. So thanks a million, and please welcome Tanya Ko Hong.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. And I am so happy that I could read and then relax and listen to other people. So I'm so happy. I choose 1519 and then I read this poem and then I just loved of the space of the poem. It feels like the Korean is my native language, mother tongue. So when we write in Korean, like we use a lot of spaces. So when I was reading 1519 and then like, oh my God, feels like a home, you know. So it was just like a beautiful way of it. Like you not say much, but there's so much saying it. So I wanted to share with you. 1519 Water Dream. Jundaless people on the cliffs of Yucatan called his ship approaching north of Clabaco. They imagine these ship structures as a floating house, hovering towards land. Perhaps land itself imagines. Perhaps animals wonder. 1. It's 1519. I am a bird. I with my eye. See with my eye. Say with my eye. 2. Desert. 3. 4. Look, a chuck on a water, flowing, following. 5. Striking. 6. It comes to rest of the desert, a house coming on water, a piece missing of its own tongue, Fonterena, drugs along the bottom, gestures of the ocean as it slides. Look now. 7. A piece boiling on the water. 8. A house on the water. 9. I am a bird. I know this desert, a falcon returning home, a bird turning. It cannot be all bad. A bird must turn in the desert to give birth to many brothers and apple trees. 10. What new language I speak? Plastic in the throat of water birds. Some evolution. Tell all your friends I am home. 11. Who holds the paper here? Ask that bunch of Indios over there. Who holds the title? Andale lo museo. I see a hotel. Do you see it? Imagine it. 12. Is 1519. I am a bird. And then I'm gonna share one of my poems from the Wall Street Inn, and it's Valentine's coming, and I felt like, and then I am bi-coastal New York and here, and then I don't know, I wrote this poem a couple years ago, and then it's a perfect time to share with you. You could play. Oh, David is not there. Okay, we'll do. Oh, you wanna play? Yeah. Yeah, that would be great. Like June snow. 4-5, north to Manhattan. You play One fine day for me on the phone. Too much noisy in your film studio. The silent sound of ambulance. The tea spills. A new pink scar. The phone disconnects. Like heaven and earth. It could be our last conversation. The weight of love, the weight of pain are the same. I lie to myself. I am fine without you. You here, you there. Doesn't matter anymore. You didn't call last Friday. I pan-fried 12 dozen dumplings, baked 12 dozen chocolate cookies, all burnt, like a taste of our first kiss. I left you, I leave you, over and over, but I cannot never leave you. Your voice wraps me in sable, in raindrops, in fire. I fall asleep on the tile, you calling my name. Words could fall from satellite, from November's sky, turn lights on my eyes. I sent email. Sorry, I can't talk tomorrow or Friday. We'll try on fine day. Our love melts like June snow. I will dry your voice, press it like a ginkgo leaf, tuck it in my suitcase. Thank you. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you so much, Tanya. So beautiful. I'm always so struck by your love of language and how seamlessly you write and read in English. It's really astonishing and such an honor to have you. Thank you again. Tanya Kohong. Coming up next is our Poet Laureate of Los Angeles, the great lady, Lynne Thompson, the sexy lady, Lynne Thompson. Yeah, she's the greatest. Even though her tenure as Poet Laureate ended on December 31st, there is no Poet Laureate at the moment, so she's still our Poet Laureate. That's how it works. That's the law. And you can pick up her book, Fretwork. I saw that was in the shop. It's a beautiful, glorious work. She has many books out, and one upcoming. Maybe she'll tell you a little bit about it. But to list all of her accolades and her generosity, everything she does for our community, she's tireless and wonderful. Will you please welcome Lynne Thompson?
And I didn't even have to pay her very much to say those lovely words. It is really a delight to be here. I've gotten to know Linda pretty well over the last few years, and she is wonderful and generous herself. Thank you for inviting us to share this special night and special launch with you. It was hard to pick, especially when I knew I had to match something. I said, damn, it's supposed to be about her, right? But I'll give it a shot. If you have the book, it's the very last poem in Cantadora, Bus Lady. It's a very Los Angeles poem. I knew a lady in North Hollywood, used to live behind the metro station in a car her brother left. It had Minnesota plates. The whole thing was a rundown. After she lost it, she ran a scam at Greyhound on account of getting rolled too many times, sleeping rough. Every night, from wherever she was, she'd take a city bus to Greyhound and fall asleep in a swivel chair. She'd have her suitcase at her feet and one of those voucher sleeves gripped in her fist. Anyone walking by would think she was on her way with her neat hat and lime green cardi. but there was nothing in that voucher jacket, just an empty pamphlet. In the morning, she'd shuffle to the ladies, freshen up, and be on her way. By the time she was back around to that station, it had been a couple of weeks. She said people thought she was traveling fine. If someone asked, Vegas or Reno was always the guess, and right there she'd make up a story about nephews around California. How every few weeks they called for her and her grandbabies kept her on the move. People thought she was well loved, waiting for her bus to be announced. After sleeping in her swivel chair, she'd pad around town, go to Penny's, have coffee in the flute at Farmer's Market, ride the RTD. In the back of the bar that summer we met, I'd seen her all over Venice, and she said there were two things she thought about nearing 70. She missed the old market, sitting out among the stalls with a big porcelain cup of coffee. She said wisdom was hot coffee. She missed being young enough to crisscross the country on her bus, and opened a pocketbook showing an unblemished handkerchief that covered her whole face in flowers when she wiped her chin. She was Los Angeles. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I won't say that you dated yourself by referring to the RTD. Nobody really knows what that means anymore. But I loved that you had that in there. And I wanted to compliment it with another, not only LA poem, but for those of you from Los Angeles and possibly beyond, Jennifer, even as far as San Francisco, may know of Suzanne Lummis, who is our noir queen of Los Angeles. So I wrote this for her. Sestina for Suzanne, Empress of Noir. There is a backlot for my discontent, the Pittsburgh of my imagination, because it's terrible being a myth. Could it be my plan needs fine-tuning? In LA, it gets like this at night, everyone drunk at the party. Everyone is drunk at this party, at this backlot of our discontent. In LA, it gets like this at night, in this Pittsburgh of our imaginations. Perhaps our plans need fine-tuning because it's a terrible thing being a myth. Although it's never terrible being a myth, especially if everyone's drunk at the party. None of our plans need fine-tuning in this backlot of our discontent, in this Pittsburgh of our imaginations. It's just that in LA, it gets like that at night. It gets like this at night in the City of Angels, where everyone's story is nothing but myth, a kind of Pittsburgh of the imagination, where everyone's drunk at the party, splayed on a back lot of discontent, their plans suspicious of anyone's fine-tuning. But be suspicious of everyone's fine-tuning. Remember that in LA, it gets like this at night. See us huddled on a back lot of discontent, where everyone's story is nothing but myth, with everyone drinking Jack Daniels at the soiree, headed for the steel city of their imaginations. I wonder, though, about the cities of imagination. I gotta suspect everyone's saying, you can use fine-tuning. Come with us. Everyone's got a good drink at this party. Because I remember, LA gets like this at night, and anyway, everyone's story is nothing but noir and myth, backlit on the backlot of interminable discontent. For those who are discontent and skeptical of fine-tuning, grab a good drink. Remake all your myths as you strut in LA, because it gets like this every night. Thank you.
Oh, that's why she's the Poet Laureate of Los Angeles. Oh my gosh. And thank you so much, David, for that fine tuning. That was so gorgeous. Perfect. Coming up next is, oh my gosh, he's a liaison between Mexico and the United States, between Italy and the United States. Absolutely. Like Lynn said earlier tonight, she doesn't know where he is. Is he in England? Is he in Germany? Is he in his beloved Mexico? Are you in your mind, Matt Sedillo? Matt Sedillo, possibly the best political poet in the United States. That is in print. I'm so honored that you're here to read one of my cherished works about one of my cherished people in Los Angeles, and to share one of your great poems. Batten Down the Hatches for the poet laureate of Ravenna, Italy. Am I lying?
Well, yeah.
Well, how am I lying? Did you or did you not receive Dante's laurel in Ravenna, Italy?
I did.
Well, okay, it's Matt Sedillo.
All right. Anyone from Pittsburgh in the house?
I
know. Thank you, Linda. Congratulations on this book and all the awards it's winning. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you for putting me on this lineup. This is an incredible lineup. This is amazing. I mean, to read with Lynn, to read with Caribbean, to read with Brian, to read with you, to read with everyone on here. It's just what an incredible honor. I'm going to read the poem called "The Bee Man from El Sereno," or "Bee Man of El Sereno." I'm originally from El Sereno, and I remember the Bee Man. All right, I know the Bee Man. Still there. So, anyways, the Bee Man of El Sereno. Here we go. The Bee Man of El Sereno is moving on the earth. Old memory, sun, graveyard, elemental shapes and booms. A monolith and groan of what we are, a flutter of what we could be. Old recipe, like the way the car used to ride. Bobbling white line roads of Los Angeles, dusty, bright. A light tear then, a mellow hum. Let all be well. I think of the Bee Man of El Sereno, the way pavement melts and tires. What is that sweet stream, that energy? The Bee Man wanders certain streets, the good things of Los Angeles. His good old hands scooping honey. This belongs to the shape of ritual. I call the bees, and the bees come home. I call with the bells, and my bees come across. The Bee Man of El Sereno is moving on the earth, leaves and grass. He leans his body in the sunlight. His particular language of the wind hints at what the body of a man might be on this earth. So I paired it with this new poem. It's going to come out in my next book that's coming out later this year called Mexican Style. And the name of this poem is Buen Dia. And so this poem takes inspiration from 100 Years of Solitude. So Buen Dia is the name of the family there. So in this one, it's the name of the town. I've been teaching in the prisons for about a year now. And so it's a lot about... It's about like what happens when a prison comes into town and how people kind of lose their... Where it's also an allegory for Cuba, and it's also a couple other things. But yeah, but like, you know, the Bee Man of El Sereno is such a magical neighborhood. And so this is about a magical neighborhood that can lose its magic. And El Sereno is also, the city of my birth, could also lose its magic, much similar to... There's ways Boyle Heights might lose its magic. There's ways that El Monte might lose its magic. There's ways that all kinds of places might lose their magic should people be pushed out. All right, here we go. Buen dia. Off the grid, out in the sticks, there are boxcars in the desert where no one stays long enough to live. Ask the how, why, what, where, or when. They just try to make the best of it. These days out here, trying to make the best of it is the closest anyone ever gets. Half town, half myth, the road to Buen Dia is littered, not paved, with the best laid plans of commerce in the state. By the cat and mouse of abandoned billboards and the promise of track homes that never came, spare a single model on a single lot, under armed guard just in case the market ever picks back up. They say they want to build a prison out here, but they're going to have to find the place first. Buen Dia is a city on the move, a town of the future, an unincorporated fugitive that will not, cannot be pinned down on any map, state or federal. That's how they get you. Half dream, half logic, the town of Buen Dia last check had more doctors per capita than anywhere on the planet. Healthy and free, they live and laugh with the birds, they dance with the trees, they grow crops from the windows and sing the stars to sleep around midnight. Fireflies take to the sky, and an orchestra of crickets command the night, and the conductor takes a bow, half real, half magic. In the town of Buendia, there are no half measures. No mayor, no illiteracy, no city council, no chief of police, just a gray-haired elder, silver-beard, keeper of the flame. He teaches each generation the breath of the hummingbird that became sandstorms, how the first families were carried here on the wind. Teaches of the wings of the butterfly, whose wind crossed the ocean and became the flood that washed in the boxcars. Teaches the children that the drifters are their guests, that being of service gives purpose, that having something to protect is never a burden, it is always a gift. That against their parents' wishes, the silver beard encourages the children to cast stones at the model home, for glimmering and shining the outside world's a threat. Half surreal, half tragic, half allegory, half prophetic, the town of Buendia is old and breaking down. By the time the construction begins, the boxcars go out. The track homes come in. The crickets are silenced. The fireflies and doctors go their own way. And for the first time, a changed name appears on the map. And no one grows crops anymore. And no one laughs or lives with the birds. And it is as though the town has lost its magic. The keeper of the flame howls through the night. All is not lost. There is still yet time. One day he tries to tell a child about a hummingbird. His parents has told him not to speak to drifters. The old man disappears. The town goes all in. Before long, everyone is in a track home. And before long, everyone works at the prison. One night, that sounds kind of cool. One night, a prisoner howls in his cell. The door opens, and there's a dead old man with a silver beard and prison blues. And the guard knows there is no explaining this to Sacramento. And even if they could, it would just kill funding. So they take the prisoner to the hole. So they beat him mercilessly. They file paperwork that will extend his sentence. They claim he attacked them. They claim they acted in self-defense. They call the prisoner delusional. They call the prisoner insane, like so many others who have claimed the same strange sighting. Under the cover of night, shovels in hand, the low light of the prison yard, the guards of Maldia Correctional Facility do what it is they do best. They bury this memory alongside the rest. They return to their couches, their families, their televisions, their homes, their codes of silence, and try to forget. Because out here these days, silence is the closest anyone ever gets.
Thank you so much, Matt Sedillo, navigating sweet babies and phone calls so seamlessly. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. I would say to you, find Matt at this place, but he's literally reading everywhere across the country, a different place every day.
I gotta go to Pomona right now.
Yeah, okay, see you later, Matt. Matt Sedillo. Woo! That's not even a joke. He's going to another reading in Pomona now, and he just came back earlier today from San Diego. So, oh my God. It's ridiculous. Breakneck speed. He has a lot to do. Buy his books. They're here at the bookshop. Mowing Leaves of Grass and City on the Second Floor. Truly inspirational from Flower Song Press. Coming up next, oh my gosh, it's a mom. You've heard of her child. Mother of River, producer of the Poetry Brothel, graduate of Sarah Lawrence, breast exposed at Beyond Baroque, feeding humanity. Would you please welcome? Breast exposed at Beyond Baroque, feeding humanity. Is it possible to hear Bernadette McComish? Bernadette McComish, please come to the stage. You are wanted for the purposes of literature.
Hi, guys. Thanks for listening to me and the river, as I like to say. Thank you, Linda, for having me. Isn't she the best? Isn't Linda the best? Yeah. I love her book. If you don't have it, you must have it. I think the mayor of West Hollywood said to me, I just finished Linda's book and it broke me. And I thought, yes, that's what good poetry should do, right? So I'm going to read This Message Has No Body by Linda Ravenswood. And if they took away your iPhone, your helper, your slave, that which enslaves others, that you use with so much oblivious gratitude, which means America, would you still be you? And if they took away your rented house in a rented part of town because your parents didn't believe in you enough for a down payment on the piece of a dream, would you still be you? And if they took away your car, the one that was better than the other, so you had to sleep in the car that was the lesser of the two evils, would you still be you? And if they took away your high-heeled shoes, your Fendi bag, and all your deodorant, and you shambled streets and hobbled hello to strangers' faces, meal ticket and brine, wondering where running water lives, would you still be you? And if they took away your children, your friends, or anyone who knew your name, given and carried all these years, showing it like a deck of cards at a carnival shell game, between who you are and how you ache. Seamstress of prostitutes and taxi drivers, crockpot, whistleblower, former endless cocksucker, midlife failure, nameless in the city of names. Would you still be you? And if they took away your sight, so all you had was the breeze, if the breeze and the sound of the pigeon on pavement, would you still be you? And if they took away all the skin of you, your wax paper show, your outer coating, your reviled worst name, would you still be you? Linda Ravenswood. Here's David. David, I should have asked. David's, I feel like Linda and David, they just go together. It's like peanut butter and jelly. I'm sorry, I didn't call you before. My mind is on the baby. Thanks. But let's have you here for. Let me give the audience a choice, okay? I'm going to give you guys a choice because I'm really struggling. Ode to My Mother's Missing Teeth or My Heart Lives Outside My Body. Teeth. All right, everybody wants teeth, yeah. Ode to My Mother's Missing Teeth. She's a witch after the glamour is gone, gross and gargantuan. A new lisp I'm not familiar with. She's scarier than ever. She was always scary. When my son sees her, he cries. He never gets upset. She hisses, her tongue white with whipped cream, her mustache outlines a once kissable mouth. Covered with blankets on a couch, she waits for my stepfather to bring her orange soda. She dishes out judgments, calls them jokes, says her teeth will take months to make if she bothers to fix them. Every time she tries to feed my son, whose teeth have almost all come in, his lower lip quivers. And in her worst witch rasp, Bronx accent says, "He don't like me." I don't want that to be true. But he can tell. She's unhappy, regardless of paper plates of pudding, regardless of a man to bring her cold water when she screams for it, even if he's sound asleep. My son, a witch in training, knows to be scared. In her love, in her long, dirty fingernails, she's dangerous. Worse than wicked witches, because there's no telling if she'll shower, slap you, give you money. No telling if she'll say, "I should have swallowed," or tell you she's sorry. My son may never know why my mother is missing teeth, or remember being fed lemon ices on tarnished silver spoons. All I can do is hope her teeth grow back. Thank you. Thank you, David.
Thank you so much, Bernadette, and thank you so much for bringing your beautiful baby. Coming up to the stage next is Christina Cha from the most illustrious literary family. Christina's from here, from the Southland, but she lived a lot of her life in Berkeley, but we have her back now. And she's working on many projects right now, a book, a documentary, a movie, a new love affair. I'm so grateful to know her. I cherish her with all my heart. Would you please welcome the radiant Christina Cha.
Linda is radiant, and everyone is lucky to be just in her orbit. Orbit isn't the right word. Anyway, I chose this one. Well, for the title, Anaphora, Litany, Excess, and Absurdity. Okay, hold on, yeah. Oh, sorry, Bebe. I'm sorry. Okay. Anaphora, litany, excess, and absurdity for we who are linked by grief. The way Linda writes about grief and dreaming and houses is what drew me to this piece in particular. I'll read the first part, Dispatch from the West. We're linked by grief, by overcoats and snow, by smells in mother's kitchen and the absence of them when she cannot come home or ever again. We're linked by steps home, by buses and the feeling of paper between fingers, by faces of children, occasional, fleet, snug in our hands, their soft eyes up, all dawns of the universe. We're linked in the way we clink glasses, look out of windows, palm fronds in the road after wind, tires screeching and the chance to begin again. Linked in the way we hold our breath when babies cross the road, the first time, the 1,000th time. Linked by the way coughing lingers weeks on the body, the way a man recedes walking down the road, a tower, a corner, an angle of body, part of the house. Some side of light. Is that him? Is that still him? A man going away. A lover becoming fainter and smaller until he becomes the trees. We're linked by laundry and gasoline and prayer, by ocean voyages across time, the dream of our father's father's father we never knew, who lives in us. We are the house and the memory. We're linked like the bees in the constant work of their legacy, to hope without reason, faith without coterie, love without proof, spirit with no evidence of smoke or fire, to day with every recurring night, bodies alone under rivers, a boat coming into the harbor. We go up alone together, eternally together, forever. This is my piece, which was published in the Los Angeles Press by Linda. And this is from an upcoming collection of poetry and fragments and essays about the life and art and murder of my aunt, Teresa. Sorry. It's called Chaste You Wait. Suspended, not ready to come down. In the in-between with her, intermediary, before language on the tongue, before thought. The single note of the ghost, ringing at a haunted piano, trapped in dead sounds. Played at the top of a circle, time held here, looping back to where everything is happening and has already happened and is over. One note ringing. The purple of her book, the stacks of dictée in the garage, in the loft above. My father builds this loft. Suspended space. The boxes precious and horrific. I go up to sit with them, all of them at once. Was this real? Was there a ladder? Do I float? A place of honor, a place to separate and remember and forget. He cuts the garage in half with shelves for living books and stacks this platform above for the dead. A lacuna of a room. I read certain passages again and again, especially the ones that frame my face in photos on the walls in the house. Chaste you wait, they say. She writes, chaste you wait, you are to wait for the silence to break. I haunt my own haunted house, huddling up here like the previous ghost owner who hides forever in the attic from her enemies in a slice of space at the back of my closet. My mother hears a phantom rocking chair up there every morning at 9:15. We all hear footsteps creaking and popping at night when she creeps down the hall to the bathroom. Before Teresa and after, we look up from the living room below, one of us, then all of us, following sounds down the thick dark of the upstairs hallway. The house is settling, my father says. Teresa transmits in perpetuity, facing outwards, addressing her audience. She also always walks away, a woman in white, long sleeves dragging, and black and red cloth, black hair to her waist. A beloved writes to me, she is there in the TVs, forever transmitting, and cannot be spoken to. We are ghosts to her, ghosts haunting her exhibit. We are here, but she cannot perceive it. She speaks through us, looks beyond us forever. The answer to the question is always the same. Yet she wrote to you, as you were, a child, but the letter endured. And if you can read it now, if you can comprehend it, then you are still the child she wrote to. Her murder is not the eternity of her vastness, the substance of reality before it manifests, the space of Teresa I know. Her murder makes her a ghost, a fragment. I am in the room where it happened. This is the room where we slow cook our meat, someone says. It is a junk room now. Once there was an altar there to appease her. Beautiful things placed on the walls because she's an artist. I ask her, if time is one piece, if there is no time, then these last moments are not the only moments. Then you weren't alone. You weren't alone because we are here now. Her answer comes through the lowest of filth, anchored in a body's final fearful excretions. A high white comfort, a presence pulling upward, dissolving some filth and bringing tears. What is the difference? Horror and beauty, how do they reconcile? The question itself too binary. I preserve myself there, I don't mean to. Uncomprehending horror torn away and left behind in the jumbled mess of chairs and items too big for the small space. Periphery of vision, casting my eyes high, up to the ceiling, down at the floor in the corners, softening the gaze to see her behind what is there. Black and white static in the liquid pixels of her films, letting the light stutter in, filtered through hands, a small space between fingers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christina. I'm very, very excited for your book to come out. I hope I get the first copy. Coming up next is our dear friend from San Francisco, the founding editor-in-chief of Red Light Lit, wonderful essayist, short story writer, a teacher, a great friend to so many, an events producer. She has a show on Monday night at the Hotel Cafe. Check it out. And then on Friday at First World out in Joshua Tree. She is a jet setter, a mom. She's the greatest. One of my very best friends, the wonderful Jennifer Lewis.
If Amy Winehouse sang the James Bond theme song, and if her teeth were set in her head just right, and if she didn't have that kernel of coke hanging off her nostril, and if her body'd been able to exist in a way that she could eat food and not feel she had to throw it up, for work, to be heard, to say, please. If she could live and sing her gift, her creed, and that was meaningful enough, instead of ghost diving, unsung songs, and another name on the list of girls who can't navigate love or transcend opportunity. Amy Winehouse. From Amy Winehouse to Like a Prayer. This is an excerpt of a short story, a little different than poetry, but some lyrical language in here for y'all. In 1999, Tracy was a consultant who booked what we'd now call immersive actors for technology launches and private parties. These actors were attractive, college-educated women whose jobs were to entertain. It started innocently enough. For $300, Chris performed as a go-go dancer. For $400, she swung in a swing in a mermaid's costume. And for $500, she wore body paint and was the purple part of a human rainbow that danced through a gallery on the hour. When Chris pulled up to this enormous house in the foothills of Atherton, she wore a vintage white slip. Tracy had said, dressed like a cheerleader who rejected these guys in high school. Just kidding, it's a white party. A white party? Like P. Diddy's in the Hamptons, Tracy said. Chris knew this Silicon Valley party was going to be nothing like P. Diddy's. But she signed the NDA and dressed the part anyway. Will I be in character or just myself? Good question, Tracy mused. These men already sleep with their assistants, so don't say you're an admin. They want women who are accomplished just enough that they don't feel threatened. So yeah, give them a fake name, but also tell them the truth. You played Hedda Gabler at the stage on the National Theatre in London. It was the Fringe Theatre in London. Maybe leave that part out. And there's nothing else I have to do. It's not a kink party, Tracy laughed. For the record, we're not paying you to sleep with anyone. But if you did, you'd definitely get invited back. What makes it authentic is that you want to sleep with someone. We're trying to curate chemistry. Do you see the difference? Chris entered the cold mansion with about 20 guys in white suits. The conversation sounded like sound bites from CNBC. Everything was disruptive, scalable, bleeding edge, lots of turnkey solutions. She was being paid to listen to these men's brain dumps or cocaine rants. She couldn't tell the difference. I really feel like I'm hitting my stride, said Eric, the anti-fraud, patent-pending entrepreneur. He wore a white-on-white Yankees hat, white jeans, and a white blazer. I'm only 30 and at the top of my field. Let me get this straight, Chris said. She had studied at the Stella Adler Institute and practiced the art of listening and repeating. You were a kid in Florida, and you received a call from Steve Jobs, and you sold your company to Apple. Now you're on your third startup. This one, a security software. Amazing. It truly is, he said. Journey's Don't Stop Believing started to play in the karaoke room, and Eric said, "This song is the fucking greatest." Chris wiped his spit off her cheek. "Wanna sing a duet?" She almost choked on her champagne. "I don't sing in public," she said. "I'm too shy." Chris could carry a tune, but it would never sing in front of her friends who were actual opera singers or folks who auditioned for Broadway. Finally, her new friend Julia entered the room looking fabulous in white fringe.
It's a bit of a snooze fest, innit? I thought this was supposed to be a belter. Everyone just standing around like lemons. You know, I was looking for a good time, a good knees up tonight.
The British accent melted Chris.
You know, I might make a sharp exit and find a livelier bash somewhere else.
"Please don't go. I'm gonna sing." "You are?" Eric said. "I've never karaoke'd before." That was true. "Yes!" Eric punched the air. Chris handed the DJ a piece of paper as a line of sequins minis entered through the front door. She wondered if they were getting more or less than her. She didn't respond when the DJ called her fake name. "Violet," Eric said. "That's you, baby."
One really doesn't have to do this, old bean.
Chris grabbed the microphone and dropped to the floor in front of Julia's feet. Red polish poked out of gold open-toe platforms. Eric's eyes were wild and frenzied, like a man whose last-second shot was bouncing high off the rim. Julia looked frightened. Her eyes were wide as moons. The chatter in the room died down. Chris's heart felt like it was being strangled, like a bird caught in a hunter's fist. This was what she missed about acting on stage. The aliveness of abandoning yourself and the possibility of utter humiliation. She heard the guitar riff and the choir, and she crawled on her hands and knees, panting, mimicking Madonna in the music video, just like she had done countless times before in her bedroom. Life is a mystery. Her voice quivered. Everyone must stand alone. She couldn't tell if she was off key, but she watched Julia's face flicker from terror to desire, like she stumbled into a new world of seduction. By the chorus, everyone was on their feet, expressing their inner Madonna inside them. The sequins mini girls busted in, Eric cabbage patched. Julia danced like a party monster. She swayed with a hypnotic rhythm, a siren song come to life. By being herself, Chris brought magic to this fucking shit show. She caught Tracy's approving face and decided right then and there she was going to up her fee.
The fabulous Jennifer Lewis. Please pick up her book in the bookshop. It's called The New Low from Nomadic Press, and it is actually on the bestseller list. So do pick it up. It's right there by the cash register, where Jennifer Lewis belongs, by the cash register. Thank you so much. That was so fun. Coming to the stage is this loser that I hate. Ugh, vomit. Not my best friend. The worst poet in Los Angeles. Not the poet laureate of West Hollywood. Okay, I'm lying. I'm totally lying. He means everything to me. His name is Brian Arthur. Sonia Wallace. I guess give him a round of applause or something. Brian, Sonia Wallace.
Oh, isn't she terrible? God. So I think it falls to me to just say again. Linda has been, for the decade or so that I've known her, just like carving away at the marble. And it's so gorgeous to see all of these friggin' sculptures that she's made, like having little awards pinned to them at all of the art shows and having everyone go, oh shit, that's what was under there. And that's what's been emerging this whole time. And this year is such a emergence and celebration. And I don't know how she's organizing this many events. She has like, I don't know, clones that she kills afterward or something. Hello, clones, run, clones, while you can. Anyways, this is Springtime 1. Is our friend on the guitar? Did he run away? Oh, no. Here we are. Tell me your name again, my friend.
David.
David?
David Williams.
Hi, David. Can we try something, David?
Sure.
Can you give me like some dissonant heavy metal stuff? This poem is called Springtime 1. When I was a child, I fervently worshipped the tiger inside my mouth. Parted lips, geographic tongue, all in Deer's Valley. Till my mother thrashed me in green grass and smashed me in the cradle, screaming! Wake up, brown girl, it's spring. I scrubbed my knuckles, red as brown could be, which is pretty red, and saw that I was passing at the bus stop in Century City. I stood relieved, but little by little, my hips and breasts throbbed golden brown, and everyone up the block huffed, "Gimme some." Well, the girls pushed me down, breath on my lashes. Little did I know the female gaze and its blood-doped desire. I was in my loops, Barbie and the jacaranda, so I kept my knees closed, though an ocean was jetting through. And there my mother saw me, swollen, doing cartwheels on her Mayflowers out front. Get a better bra for those pendulous breasts, she clobbered, as still I was too native for her spring. She put up a bounty that read, "Drop the brown you're packing on, and all this will be yours," and glued the recipe inside my eyelids. I woke up thick as ever, and she was gone. Had you seen the tiger inside my mouth, you'd have worshipped too. Finally, I inked up my eyebrows and came fully to the Mendieta. And the tiger lives on. Oh, that was fun. Oh, my goodness. Woo. Oh, let's do that always. All right, and The poem I've brought in response is called You Keep Dating Latino Boys. Lynn knows this one. If there's nopales in eggs, but a white person put them there, are they still nopales? If a white person says, te quiero, does desire mean consumption? If a white person grows up speaking Spanish, can they translate the sound of brown bodies falling? Cada frontera ficción, pesado y caro. Puede ganar mucha plata guardando una frontera. The butcher throws out the parts of the pig he can't sell. The streets smell for miles around the slaughterhouse. ¿Cierto que los latinos son más apasionados? If a white person swallows all their feelings, all the time, how much time until they start to feel full? Thank you.
The wonderful Brian Sonia Wallace. Thank you so much, Brian. Coming to the stage is a new friend. She's a treasure in Los Angeles, in California, and United States literature. Her book blazed such a trail. Please pick it up instantaneously. It's so well reviewed, so cherished. She's a teacher, a wife, a mom. She drove all the way from Claremont to be here. I can't even tell you all the things that she's cooking. Magazines, journals, prizes for poets. She's so wonderful. Wait till you hear an excerpt from her essay. I'm so excited to welcome Garivian Fragoza.
Thank you, everyone. I mean, I thought I was coming from real far away, and then I heard someone came from New York, so it's like, forget it. It's just being a crybaby at this point. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Linda, for inviting me. And I always just feel so, blessed, lucky that I get to be around poets. For some reason, poets invite me to things, and I'm a fiction writer for the most part. I write some poetry, but just to be around poets is a whole thing that I'm really lucky to share space with. So I'm gonna read. Let me try to find it. Sorry, I should have prepared this earlier. I had it in my PDF. Sorry. I'm so sorry. This is taking me a while. I think I'm just nervous and I can't find it. Can you help me, Linda? I'm just having a brain fart right now. Thank you for your patience. Oh, I found it. I found it.
Thank you. I would have found it, but Brian stole my copy.
It's okay. It's okay. This is this is praise when you like, but mostly when children slam the door. And I really wanted to read this out loud, to feel it in my body, to share it with all of you. And to praise is something that I've decided that I want to do more, to just appreciate and sing to the beauty in life, and even to things that may not seem so beautiful, to be able to share and sing those to one another is still a kind of praise, and is still a kind of generosity that, I don't know, that I care about. So I'll just start reading this beautiful poem. Praise when you like, but mostly when the children slam the door. Remember the glorious kitchen door of their youth, the kitchen door that says, children are home, the slamming door that says, we're still together, the slamming door that says, someone's in the bathroom. Praise the tubes that carry the bodily fluids of the children still at home. Praise the pipe. Praise the water from the municipal government and the water tenders who measure, so children can come through the house like Clydesdales pee in their family bowl. Praise the history of the family loo on the corner in Glendale, California. Praise the slamming door that clocks you every 2 hours from the children still in your house. Praise the stone cutters and the stone and boulder rollers. Praise the masons and carpenters who laid the foundation to build the old craftsman houses of Los Angeles. Praise the back generations we cannot know that we know intrinsically as we walk their planks and enter through their doorways. Praise their breath and fingertips on the hearth. Praise their diffidence. Praise their strength, their work ethic, their good sense to leave and let us live, their tenacity, their history. Praise the steel cutter. Praise Homewood. Praise Detroit. Praise the janitor at the church. Praise the sus volunteer at the school drop-off. Praise her bitchy face and bossy finger. Praise her forever. So one of the things that I noticed in Linda's book is definitely the attention to the self in relation to the city. And I totally see and feel Los Angeles here, and in a way that feels familiar and feels like home again, when sometimes Los Angeles doesn't feel like home. But this is a Los Angeles that I love, and I loved seeing it here. And there's also a very careful attention to history, to family history, to city's history, to this nation's history and our place within it. And that's something that I care about a lot too. So I'm going to read an excerpt from a short story called Lucia. It's a newly published story in Huizache, and so it's I'll just read from it. And the main character is Lucia, and she's a young girl from Oaxaca, living in Oaxaca. It takes place in Oaxaca, Mexico. And she's in a relationship with a person she really, really, really should not be in a relationship with. So that's all I'll say. Every time we have to go someplace where I won't be recognized, especially by the boy. But I don't tell you this, of course. We walk and walk towards the edge of the city, away from the tourist zone. The first time, I noticed how you became quieter as the streets grew shittier. Buildings seemed to fall apart more as we went along. Walls crumbling, blocking walkways with debris. The hard-packed mud underneath the rotted paint revealed. The churches grew more stained along the way until we stopped in front of a church in bad need of repair. This is the only kind of church I like. We walked into a very small courtyard and sat on one of the benches, facing a dirty fountain that held a few centimeters of green rainwater and dead leaves. Fat gray trees cracked the volcanic stone tile to pieces beneath our feet with their ancient roots. Blocks of carved stone sat in piles throughout the garden. The moss ate away at their intricately sculpted surfaces, muffling a language that once spoke with such clarity and dominance that even its distorted echoes still carried meaning for us after all these centuries. But I refused to be afraid. I refused to bow before any of it. May all the churches come crumbling down. May all their priests and patrones boil away in smallpox and syphilis. Long live the ravenous moss and rot, and us, the thieving mutts that have nothing to lose but our hunger. I caught myself grinning as I thought of this, or maybe I muttered it out loud. I drowned out your silence with street noise, diesely heaves and roars of buses out on the streets. I heard schoolgirls at a bus stop, their girls like short brassy tunes churned out of a set of broken music boxes. They were still young enough to wear Tweety Bird backpacks and shiny black shoes and hair pulled back into very tight braids. I cut my braids off as soon as I could. I didn't want to look like my mother or like any of those girls in skirts riding the bus home every afternoon, lowering their eyes under the weight of all those men's stares. They hold on tight to the rail above their heads to keep their bodies from swinging to and fro with the jolts and jumps of the bus. They hold on tight and seem like they know that at any moment they might be plucked off if a man made up his mind to do so. In the meantime, they hold on to the rail and clutch their bags, talking amongst themselves in their soft music box voices. Their words ringing melodies I can almost recognize, but their tuned teeth have jumped out of place, or rather, I've been shifted out of place. There are many reasons for this. Do you understand what they're saying? You asked me. I tightened my lips before answering. Why it surprises you that I don't reminds me how little you understand. I probably understand more English than whatever it is that they're speaking. You and I would not be here together now if it was any other way. My grandmother came here to the valley from the Sierra, beyond that blue hill right there with the fog breaking up all around it. She brought my mother here when she was still a young girl because what they could grow out of the land somehow was no longer enough to eat. They couldn't explain it. It didn't make sense, and bit by bit, many things stopped making sense, and they knew it was time to abandon the old place and come here. It was already happening, and nothing could be done. Everything was changing, and it could not be stopped. What mattered was eating. The men go away to the north. They come back for fiestas and to make more children. Sometimes they just never come back. Many of us are raised without fathers. I knew of a town out in the Sierra where the men came back every year. But in this town, a man, several men, no one knows for sure, brought a sickness with them from the north, and it made everyone sick. It made the women sick and the babies sick, and they began to die off, slowly at first, then very quickly. The herbs of the old people could do nothing to stop the sickness. Only the young people that were strong enough to leave. Mostly the girls, young enough not to have husbands. They fled down the hills with small bundles of food and clothes, alone. Some of these girls are the ones you see clinging to the rail on the bus. It's always the women, but especially the girls that are left to fend for themselves. The men leave, and when they come back, they do nothing but bring us sorrow. So, thank you. Thank you, Linda.
Caribbean Fragoza, thank you so much. Please pick up her book in the bookstore. So my name is Linda Ravenswood de Montaño, and today is the 60th anniversary of the death of Sylvia Plath. And I treasured her traveling the streets of Los Angeles on the Santa Monica Blue Bus. Coming home from school, I would stop into Wilshire Books and speak to Lee, and he curated the poetry section. Do you remember Lee? Yeah. Of course. So I think of her always, and especially today. And I just would like to thank Matt, Jennifer, Bernadette, Brian, Christina, Carivian, Tanya, and Lynn so much for being here tonight, and thank all of you. I'll just read a couple of small selections from this book, and I hope that you pick it up and that the voices of the Cantadora, of the storyteller, the memory keeper, the small historian, I hope they remind you of something that's precious to you and that it brings you joy. So this is called All the Bells of Mare Island, and thank you so much to David Williams. My mother's lungs, the way they slip in view on the X-ray screen, like shoe and shoehorn, a soft satin bray against some Pacific coast, her body, nights full of stars, my grandfather holding her up and in and out of weeks so she would not die from whooping cough, his warm Scots-Irish hands against her back, the soft clothes of the 1940s, all the bells of Mare Island, and fog along the Farallones. It was the Second World War and the rubber drive. Their house on wheels came all the way from Oregon, and my grandfather wired sonar for the ships in San Francisco Bay. They all pulled together to get into the black. My mother's lungs so scarred some San Andreas fault lines, her veins. They said she would pull through, but for what? For what? For what? Esther Vygotsky. She was the sister of Henry Kress, and Henry Kress and his wife Mary Kress were survivors of the Holocaust, capital H. Esther Vygotsky was a handsome woman in her 50s when I knew her. She had that hair that women of the 1970s wore from their time in other decades, choked curls and blonde and dirty blonde and folded and coiled and draped on the face. Lipstick, the kind of coral pink the 1970s brewed, the kind of color found on food and sauce and ladies' restrooms, the kind of color that came from inside the radio, cough syrup, ballet ribbons, a kind of color that makes a girl say, I love pink. Pink is my color. The kind of pink that trails with you ever after. Esther Vygotsky came to events and Shabbats and dinners and weddings. She wore strappy back, high-heeled sandals on dark, nude pantyhose and knee-length, the diaphanous skirts with ruffle hems. She had brown knuckles and clacking rings. She had money and a brand new Dodge. Her husband was rotund with starched, long collar shirts, but Esther Vygotsky had been a capo at the camps. So even though people smiled when they passed her tea, if she lowered her eyes, they whispered, bitch. This California girl watches all the Jews of Los Angeles, knowing somehow still she's on the outside looking in, knowing her blood relation is so slim, knowing she's listening. Some keep her out, but some draw her close forever. Aunt Judy and Uncle Paul Skopitsky. They squire her around Palo Alto Gardens, all the trees they planted with their bare hands and $5 in their pocket. Lindale, look it. When first we come to United States, we brought the plum tree. It was size of house cat. Now look. And here, my kumquat. Never we have in Poland, but look now. Its berries go above the roof. sometimes in wind. Lindale. I hear them on the roof. My darling, I know there is a God. Thank you. Lindale. Uncle Paul. My last piece for tonight is called Hymnal, and it's all about the great Toni Morrison. Super short. Plenty of time to purchase literature. Hymnal for Toni Morrison. And there she was on Broadway between 49th and 50th, and you know what that means. Even if you don't know the city, you can still feel it because the city is everything. And I hailed, Toni Morrison! And she said, girl, you know I am. And I said, my lady, tell me you didn't win the Nobel Prize for those stories. And she threw her head all around and she said, girl, you know I did. And we laughed and crossed each other on the sidewalk. And smiling, I kept looking back at me at how she was going along like you do, but then I just kept on walking till I heard quick steps walking behind me. And I turned around and her face was in my face. And she stopped a second to catch her breath. And she told me something I'll never forget. Thank you so much, you guys. Thanks for coming to Beyond Baroque. Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you, David Williams. Thank you to all the poets, to the short story writers. And thank you to my kids. Talk to me out there. Talk to me. Bye.